I think what makes CAIR unique is that we have a collection of young minds who are eager to really go out there and make some significant changes.
People who have been born in this country, who went to school in this country from kindergarten on to college and professional schools, because they've grown up in the American society. They understand what the American diversity is. They understand the political process.
The Council of American Islamic Relations Chicago chapter is doing something which is very interesting. It's a group of young, I guess you call it the 1.5 generation Muslims, often born abroad but raised here, and who respect the elders of their community, or connect, and yet are interested and willing to engage in political debate in this nation on the terms that this nation does political debate.
So what makes this coalition of this evening so unique is the fact that we're not calling people into collective action on general issues. We're presenting 3 specific issues that we're going to be taking to...
I can't think of a more important professional arm of activism than CAIR has been in many communities, being the voice of Muslims who are voiceless. Eventually, always there comes a cadre of young men and women who say, this is what I want to do. And they lead the way, and the rest of us should, hopefully, happily follow. And CAIR-Chicago has been one of those entities.
There are three really different branches of the organization, CAIR-Chicago. There's the civil rights section, which Yasser heads up. There's the communications section, which Ahmed Rehad heads up, and there's the governmental relations section, which I head up.
It is based on a system and an infrastructure, and wherever it comes in and takes place, it's a plug-and-play situation. The organization will be just as successful, inshallah.
This new CAIR-Chicago has contacted more communities than have ever been contacted before. People are talking about CAIR. Those of us in academia are making sure that our students, as they come through the community-based service learning programs, know about CAIR.
I think they will know how to organize and develop, and I think they will know what the meaning of grassroots organizations are.
There is a lot of grassroots work that needs to happen, which we're doing and which we are increasing on a daily basis and on a weekly basis. I believe that there's somewhere between 250 and 320,000 Muslims living in this area. Now that's a powerhouse when you're talking about a population of the whole city being about 5 million. I mean, if every single one of those people is voting, that's how things change.
It's not a bad start. Hopefully once they get to know that we're here every Jummah prayer.
They're willing to get their hands dirty in politics. They're willing to stand up in the media and speak truth to power.
Live from Studio 5 on Michigan Avenue, this is the NBC 5 News at 5.
A family is suing a Chicago Islamic charity over the death of their son in the Middle East. But tonight, local Muslim groups say the lawsuit is putting their religion on trial.
Well, Don and Miriam, at least 3 Chicago area Muslim groups say a federal judge is being unfair, forcing the Quranic Literacy Institute to proceed with a trial it says it's not prepared for.
At the end of the day, what we are witnessing is a modern-day lynching and a mockery of justice.
This is a bittersweet New Year's for those concerned about the victims of the tsunami. Prayer vigils and even a special memorial were held across the Chicago area today. Here's NBC5's Sharon Wright.
A call to prayer at this mosque in Bridgeview.
Surely we belong to Allah, and to Him is our return.
And in Northbrook at the Islamic Cultural Center. Today, praying, mourning the great loss. So many here have their roots where the tsunami hit the hardest.
We're not just praying for Muslims, we're praying for everyone of any faith. And at this time of death and loss, it reminds us all that we as humans, we're all the same.
Here in Chicago and in 9 other states across the country, the American Civil Liberties Union joined with various religious and political groups to formally request that the FBI uncover its spy files.
This afternoon at the Downtown Islamic Center, these men come to pray, but there is a sense by some that those who practice their Muslim faith are often watched, sometimes interviewed by the FBI, and there may be a spy file being kept on them.
This is an issue of our government intruding and violating the sacred constitutional rights that we have of freedom of speech and freedom of association.
And now from NNN and Medill, America's #1 school for news. This is the Northwestern News Report.
In response to recent kidnappings, the Council on American Islamic Relations has released a statement denouncing the acts. The group says the actions of terrorists are representative of extremist groups and not of people in the Muslim tradition.
I can assure you that the majority of the Muslim world is against such heinous acts, especially when they're committed against in the name of Islam.
Not only are you worried about being a victim as everybody else is to further terrorist attacks, but you also have to keep fending for yourself, proving that no, you're not complicit with the enemy.
The point that we're making on this show today, and we hope that this becomes the theme of Muslim activism in the coming years, is that we do not have the consistency. We don't have the institutions that last beyond individuals to keep the work going in an institutionalized sort of way.
Now that we're entering a new stage in which the infrastructure has been put forth and the system has been created, we're expanding out and we're trying to involve every single member of this community. There are two ways this can happen. One is if they have the time and the skills and the expertise and the set of talents necessary, they can approach us with what they feel they can do, and we can definitely place them in a very well-qualified program. Secondly, if they are professionals who don't have much time, but still believe in the cause that we're working for and would like to be a part of the solution, they can then do so through financial support.
People from very different sort of ideological bases, whether they're very traditional and conservative or they're progressive, they know what CAIR does, and CAIR is there to protect your civil rights.
As far as what we're looking to do in the near future is to set projects that are distinct, that are measurable, that have milestones and deliverables, that target a specific need.
We want to get to a point where this organization lasts beyond us as leaders and as activists in the community.
Well, we're hoping in the coming year that we're definitely going to have a much larger impact. We can tell that people are starting to hear more about us on the street.
It's beautiful to watch it come together, and I like the people who are doing it, and I hope it continues to move forward in the same manner and same spirit in which it started to be put together.